What's going on, guys? Zach RC here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome along to the next chapter of the F1 2021 Breaking Point series. I'm really excited to play this one. I believe this next race is Jackson's home Grand Prix. Yep, there it is. This is the British Grand Prix. With AlphaTauri continuing to show signs of improvement, the F1 world turns its eyes to Silverstone. A real test for rookie Aiden Jackson as he returns home with hopes of impressing the crowd at the home circuit. So here we go. We've got a few new news bits here. One of them being about Alonso making his comeback to the sport next season in 2021. A bit about Silverstone and some bit about Aiden himself. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one because of course obviously the home race. We've got a call coming in from an unknown number, so we'll see what that's about.
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Who is this?
Oh, come on, keep up. It's Devon.
Butler?
The very same.
How did you get this number?
It doesn't really matter. Listen, I just wanted to pass on a bit of friendly advice.
Oh.
Now, it's always tricky racing on your home track. The pressure, all the fans watching, it's a nightmare.
Right, yeah, I imagine it is.
But if you keep your cool, you stay focused, you will get through it, okay? Just imagine it's a different circuit on the other side of the planet. Then, when your race does fall apart, it'll be a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, great advice.
I knew you'd think so. Anyway, good luck out there today. Just try and make it to the end, huh? Ta-ta!
Yeah, good luck to you too. I'll see you later.
You have got to be joking me. I hated Devon Butler before, but now it's just he's found Aiden's number and he's phoned him before the race, trying to get in his head. So clearly mind games in play. I'm gonna have to try and beat him today. Got an email, a couple of emails, one from Brian about Silverstone, mainly the fact that it's just our home race, so a lot of PA stuff going on. We got our weather forecast and stuff from our race engineer Jeff. It's gonna be completely fine out there today, rain weather-wise. We've got an email from our personal agent saying that she's with Aiden's mum, so that hopefully they get on alright. And then we got a email from someone from Trackside because Brian gave the guy our address last episode, email address I mean. So here we go, chapter 4. Capitalising on a fantastic Q3, Aiden Jackson's enjoying one of his finest career performances when a front right puncture threatens to ruin his chances of a top 5 finish. With friends and family in the stands and the crowd behind him, Jackson sets his sight on salvaging what he can from the race. British Grand Prix, mid-race.
Tyres are gone.
Copy, Aiden. Box.
Copy.
Let's just minimize the damage.
Well then, this is a bit of a sorry sight for our Aiden Jackson. He's been hit with a puncture midway through the Grand Prix, and it was looking so well as well. We were around 5th or 6th place, but now we're down in 7th. We're going to lose a lot more places in the pits. So coming into the pit lane now, we've yet to been hit with any kind of situation like this throughout. I mean, we've obviously been hit with making contact with teammate Ackerman before, but never a puncture. So this is an entirely new situation. I've never really had to nurse the car back to the pits after having a puncture because I've never really had one myself. So this was a new experience for me, but I managed to get the car back nice and safe to the pits, and so we're going to make the little stop here. We've already fallen out the points, so we've got serious work to do. We're down 11th, now down to 12th, and here comes the rest of the pack through. Down to 13th, 14th now, 15th and 16th. I think we may lose 16th as well and fall down to 17th, provided that Latifi passes us, and indeed he does. So coming out the pit lane here, we've got serious work to do, but the Canadian is our first target as we come further now into lap 7. We're close right up to Latifi here. The new tyres really proving to do us some good. We can go around the outside of Latifi trying to make that move work, and we do. So that's one place down already, just 6 more to go and we'll be in the points. So moving further on now onto the start of lap 8. We've caught both Ricciardo and Magnussen. Hopefully we can catch them napping on the straight here. I think we should have DRS, but I was pretty sure we had DRS here when I was driving the car, but we didn't, so we had to make do with what we had. So we're still within a second of them, so the slipstream could be helpful, but they continue to pull away as Ricciardo has slipstream and DRS on Magnussen. We're going to try and go around the outside of both cars, and we could try and make a move here, try and dive in. We're going to follow Magnussen through and get underneath him just right there, and we've passed both Magnussen and Ricciardo in one incredible move, so that puts us up into 14th place. So just a couple more cars left to go. We've still got 5 laps left of this thing, so still got plenty of time. Moving on to lap 9 now, we've just set the fastest lap of the race, and we've caught both Casper Ackerman, our teammate, and Sebastian Vettel in a Ferrari, so we should be able to try and find our way around those two as quickly as possible. We come very close, we make contact with Casper, but luckily no damage done to our car or his. We pull up the inside and try and take the place away. He's pushed onto the curb slightly, being a bit more aggressive, but backs out. So that puts us up into 13th place, and we've got the DRS from that move to try and take on Vettel now, but Ackerman's coming back at us because he's got DRS from Vettel as well. We've got DRS from us in that matter, so we're going to try and come in close to Vettel. We're on his outside there, trying to move in. We switch back and take the outside line through the right-hander, and around the outside we go, very nearly putting the car on the gravel, but holding on to the position. So we move up into P12 here. We've still got 4 more laps left to go, so we've got plenty of time to gain those 2 places. Although Albon and Butler are still quite a way up the road. Albon's 3 seconds ahead and Butler's 6 seconds ahead, so we've definitely got to try and battle back in order to catch those two. Moving on now to the start, around the start of lap 10, we've got the DRS and Albon. We've closed right in on him, so we could have a really good chance down this next straight. Down the stretch we come, flying down there, trying to close in on Albon, but the Honda engine in the back of that thing just has the straight line speed. We're closing in on him though. We make contact. I was very terrified of making this contact at this point, because normally whenever I run into someone, hit them that hard, it puts me into a spin, but fortunately we didn't, and that was another place up into P11. And now we're closing in on Butler, the same man who phoned us before the race to try and get in our head, and here we are fighting back from a puncture, trying to beat him here at Silverstone at his home track. So come down the straight though, and moving down towards turn 1, we're going to pull to the right hand side, going for the position, and that'll put us back up into the points. Butler tries to stay in there, but there's nothing he can do to stop us, and we move up into 10th place. But it's not over yet, because here's Sergio Perez running 9th place in the racing points. We're going to try and find our way around him as quickly as we can. We're closing in now, and we're going to have to DRS this time, although I doubt that it will be enough to contend with the Mercedes engine in the back of that racing point machine. Butler's already about half a second behind. He's got the DRS in us, so we have to be careful going down the straight. He's not really seems to be closing in. We're going to try and go around the outside of Perez. No contact made. We're giving him the room he needs. It's our line though, so we're up the inside and we're into 9th place with just done over 2 laps to go. And we start to wonder, can we perhaps take 8th or maybe even 7th, because Leclerc and Sainz are quite wet up the road, and these tyres have been doing us a world of good so far in this race, so hopefully they'll be able to do us a bit more good. So moving on now to lap 12, we've just got 2 laps to go, and we've closed right back in on Sainz and Leclerc. Leclerc's now finding his way around the Spaniard in the battle for 7th place. We're going to try and go around the outside, come very close to touching wheels there, but unfortunately we managed to get around Carlos, and that'll move us up into 8th place. It's not over yet though, because based on the rate these tyres have been going, we could potentially even catch Ocon for all I know. So moving on now into Copse Corner, we're going to come very close to Leclerc, but it wouldn't be wise to make a move in Meggetts and Beckett's, so we may have to wait until we come onto the DRS straight to have a go. We're closing in on him though, so we could have a very good chance of taking that position down the straight. Here we come now, down the stretch we fly, and going around the outside, trying to get DRS to switch back to the left hand side, and coming down the stretch we've got the soft tyres. He's only on the mediums, and our soft tyres are a lot fresher than his mediums, so that'll do us very nicely. All that less tyre wear has really been helping us. The puncture has been somewhat of a godsend, so we're now essentially back where we started. We tried to catch Ocon but couldn't quite get in there. We're about 3.2 seconds behind, but that is the end of the race. So coming through the last couple of corners, I've really enjoyed this one. It's a bit short, I know, but I still really enjoyed this challenge, having to fight back from the puncture. We gained 10 places over the course of 6 laps. Or 6 or 7 laps, which I am really, really pleased with. So coming round the line, we've still managed to give the Silverstone crowd a treat, and we finished P7 at Aiden's home race.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. What a race for young Aiden Jackson. If he can keep this up, he's got a long, promising career in front of him.
Absolutely. He'd have been gutted about that puncture. Imagine what kind of challenge he'd have been able to make without it. You've got to give it to him though. He gritted his teeth and pulled it back. Great driving.
Now just whisper it quietly, but things seem to be on the up for AlphaTauri's Aiden Jackson. One to watch.
Alright, well that is the end of that challenge. Despite suffering a puncture mid-race, Jackson manages to overcome the odds, securing a brilliant point to finish for AlphaTauri at the British Grand Prix. I'm personally very pleased with the performance we get put in there. Like I say, gaining 10 positions in around 6 or 7 laps, so I think anyone would be pleased with that, despite the puncture we had to deal with. So back in the hub now, the roundup of Silverstone, the twists and turns of the British Grand Prix, with another display of fantastic control and determination. The new AlphaTauri driver Aiden Jackson is certainly proving his worth. The young driver started strong in the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, only to fall foul of a puncture just as he was finding his pace. So yeah, that did happen, unfortunately, but we found our way back. The trivia time page here, so this is about 10 winners of the British Grand Prix for British drivers. We've got a call coming in from Brian.
Brian,
Well, someone's the hot topic in the press room.
what do you mean?
Oh, come on. There's no need to be so modest.
What are you on about, Brian?
Well, after that puncture, everyone thought you'd lost it. But to pull it back and into the points, it's all anyone's talking about.
Well, I'm glad the press is starting to take notice.
Oh, get used to it. They put a bunch of interviews in your diary for tomorrow. It's why I was calling.
Right, thanks for letting me know.
So don't celebrate too hard tonight, eh?
Yeah, all right, Brian. Don't worry. I'm only going to see my mum.
Right. Well, each to their own.
See you later, Brian.
Well, he seems very pleased, very proud of us. It seems as though Aiden has finally found his form, and that's just all we wanted to do for him in his rookie season, because of course you want to have a good rookie season in Formula 1, otherwise you could be out. But yeah, very, very good race. So look at the emails now. One from the boss, Franz Tost, one about a very good job, thanking us for fighting back. Apparently Jeff lost his mind. They all thought that Aiden had lost it once the tyre went. Our PR agent says bring the mum round to see us, and her ears are ringing apparently, so she must have been screaming at the race again, because the last time the neighbours knew about it. And yeah, that's pretty much all they know about that. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the chapter, and that's the end of today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Make sure to like, share and subscribe, and watch the playlist. I've put all these in a playlist now for those who want to see it. So until the next episode, guys, I will see you later. Have a good day, everybody.